Alright, good morning everybody. It's honestly second day of Super Cincy here in Cincinnati, and I do not have the microphone hooked up because it's actually dead. I forgot to recharge it from like the previous night, so hopefully by tomorrow we'll be able to record some stuff. I just got done setting up and it took maybe about a few minutes just to be able to set up, but this show is in its second year and I didn't really know how the setup was going to be for this particular show, but they're allowing vendors like an extra hour of time, which that to me is not enough. People need at least like 2 hours to be able to finish setting up for their booth for at least a Saturday, because people usually get a lot of the good inventory out for this. But Fridays, kind of just like a quick overview for that. It was okay. I think it was just because of the first day and people were coming out of work. A lot of people weren't able to come out for that, so we'll hopefully be able to catch them today. But aside from that, the Pokemon stuff actually did pretty good overall, because we had a bunch of people buy the packs that we had, down to one Obsidian Flame, and the not Terrestrial Festival, Prismatics ended up selling at like the second hour that the show opened up for the floor. I don't know what to expect. Maybe there will be trades today, so I'm kind of hoping. We're basically just here to like buy up some inventory to be able to sell, and also to be able to advertise for City to City Dayton, which is going to be the last show for the month, because next week is my birthday. I'll be 38 and I do not feel it. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and finish up reorganizing the booth and getting that ready, so we will pretty much get ready for Saturday. So if you were at Super Cincy, post down below. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get to the first transaction, which will be the next clip, and I'll see you back in just one sec. So unfortunately, like I said before, the microphone does not work, so we had to resort to phone for this. So to start it off, the show hadn't even opened yet, and we are giving them $65 on top, and we are getting the Flareon EX from Prismatic Evolutions, and they are taking the big one for Mega Rayquaza EX, and then the Mewtwo V-Star from Crown Zenith. So thank you again for the deal. So as far as like the only other thing, I forgot to record it, but we ended up selling for $20 the Animal Crossing game on the Wii. I couldn't remember the exact name of it. I think it's called City Folk. And then there was a Scholastic's Legend Zelda book that we ended up selling for $15. That was the only other thing that sold so far. So we finally got trade stuff in. I've been trying to get more stuff in for the booth, but they are getting our Sonic Gems collection. All of these are complete. The Ultimate Spider-Man, and then Midway Arcade Treasures 3. And they are trading us. 2 of these do need resurfacing, but they look good other than that. The Evil Dead, Hail to the King, and then Sonic Shuffle, and then Carrier, and then not in the best shape, but it's still good filler for Mystical Ninja 64, and we are giving them $5 on top. And not long after that last sale, we ended up selling the Mario Hoops 3-on-3. Almost kept that one, but getting rid of it. And then Tales of the Abyss, I got a other copy of that recently, so that's my second. And Zombie for the Wii U, all together for $70. All right, ended up selling off the Ralts from not 151. I'm thinking 151 stuff today, from Scarlet Violet base. And then 2 of the Gengars. We are officially out of Gengars, aside from, I believe, the other one's there right in the corner. So altogether for $50. Did we say 50? Yeah. Okay, we have $50 altogether. Okay, we sold off another piece from the collection. Sad to see it go, but I'll get it later. It's the Banjo-Kazooie preview tape, and we're getting rid of it for $15. Okay, so I was not expecting to come across any old faces or anybody from like other stuff. I don't know where I'm putting this out yet, but it will be like later. But I came across an old friend. It's Tommy. What's up, man?
Hey, how's it going? Good to see you here. One of the reasons why I came all the way out to Cincinnati.
I was not really expecting anybody to come out, but I mean, if people know me, they'll come my way. So he's picking up Street Fighter 2 Turbo, a really good condition copy. Doomsday Warrior, I think this one I got from that big lot that was like last year. And then Donkey Kong Enter Jungle preview VHS tape. What's that reason for getting that?
I'm a big VHS collector when it comes to video game stuff, and the Super Nintendo Donkey Kong one is not as common as some of the other ones, so first time I've seen it in a while.
Like I was explaining to him, like I brought a lot of these over, and the other one ended up selling. It was the Banjo-Kazooie tape, but Grant Kirkhope is here at the show, and I figured like some people would definitely want them. So there's now like one N64 VHS tape back. So it is definitely good to see you as always.
Yeah, I'll see you soon.
Definitely. So more tech stuff is going out. Same person from before brought in more trades. They are trading in the Caesar illustration from Obsidian Flames, the Arvern from Paladin Fates, I believe. Prismatic Evolutions, Ogrepon Mask, this is the Cornerstone, and then a Rainbow Salamence VMAX, and they are getting 2 of our tags, so we are now down to the last 2 there, and they owe us $4 on top. Apparently somebody is about to play some Pokemon Yahtzee, originally for 15, but we dropped it down to $10 for them. Customer brought in a trade for Area 51 they brought to the booth, and then this was 14, and this has gone down to 11 after the trade for Busted Move 2 on the Sega Saturn. Thanks for the deal. And they owed $11 on top. So probably the biggest pickup I have done for the show so far. It is very hard to see, but we did a coin toss, pretty much one as called it as tails. And for $350, we got a PSA 10 Black Star promo for Zard EX, Zapdos EX PSA 9, and then there's Celebrations PSA 10 Zard, and then Rainbow Zard PSA 10 altogether again for $350. It basically helped us out because after that big transaction from earlier, they are picking up for $50 and then getting a free seal. I forget which set that's from, but there's like a bunch of different stuff in here. RCSV, which I think we got at the last show. There's a Mudkip Hollow, 25th anniversary for Luxray, and yeah, pretty much 50 altogether. All right, more Pokemon stuff's going on. We ended up selling our Tatsugiri EX. I forget which rarity that was. The Swinub illustration from Journey Together, Surgeon Spark Skarmory, I believe. And then the Falafel illustration altogether dropped it down by $1 for $20. Selling off everybody's favorite LJN title, Back to the Future, and selling it off for $10. Pokemon Day continues. Pretty much that Charizard Black Star promo PSA 10 that we got earlier is gone, along with the Gardevoir Warrior Shiny EX, and then the Drowsy. This was the main reason it came over here for it. And they are trading us 2 really big Pikachus. This one especially, I'm really surprised to see how much it's gone up. And then the Mimikyu V, and I gave them $25 on top. All right, it finally went. A couple of people were looking at it, but it's being sold for $75, originally $85 earlier, but I dropped it down to $75. And I forgot to record, but that's pretty much it for day 1. Today was, I thought, fine, but as far as like the amount of sales for video games, it didn't do as well as I thought, but it's still technically one more day to go. But we did get some cool stuff for pretty much the booth for the next show, which is going to be City to City Dayton. But we got some good stuff from that. One person came by the booth that said that they have some stuff they're going to try to bring in for trade. Probably a little bit of cash on top, but I don't know what they have. But we'll hopefully be able to grab some stuff and be able to get it ready for the next show. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get food in me. I'm in my hotel, which isn't really the best quality, but it was the cheapest one available, so honestly I'm fine with that. So with that being said, I will see you guys back for day 2 or day 3 pretty much. So anyways, for the final day of the show, I'll see you by then. Good morning everybody, it is Sunday. Pretty much back here for the final day of the event, and didn't really do so much as of right now because we're still kind of reorganizing and putting like last minute stuff. There was like some cheap PS2 and some Xbox stuff, but aside from that, not really anything expensive. We're kind of waiting to see what the rest of the day does, but as of right now, we're just waiting on those people to come back, as they said they had some systems, some games, and then I think like some vintage sealed product, because we're going to use that for the Dayton show at the end of the month. So for right now, we're just going to wait to see what this day is, because the vibe doesn't seem that positive, so we're just going to kind of wait out and play by ear to see how it does. So with that being said, we'll wait to the first trade or sale of the day, so I'll see you guys back in a sec. Alright, starting off the morning, selling off that Mimikyu V that we got yesterday in that Pika lot, and it's going away for $40. Got a Power Ranger stack going out for 45 for the pair. The fighting movie, I don't know if this is the beat 'em up or the fighting game version, but this one either way is really good. And then fighting edition, like I said, 45. And immediately after that, they ended up picking up the Star Fox 64 at the last second. Finally sold out, but the RoboCop 2 that we got from that lot earlier is going away for $22. Selling off that copy of Back to the Future, the game for Wii, originally 30, going down to 27. Another quick Pokemon sale, the Articuno from Journey Together, the Reverse Foil from Evolutions, and then the Noibat we just threw in for free, so 28 for all three. Just quickly sold off the Dark Duel Stories for Game Boy Color for 15. Alright, it's kind of chaos on this table right now, but a couple of different Pikachus. The illustration Pidgeotto, I believe from Obsidian Flame, the illustration Houndoom, and basically 25 bucks on top. Alright, they ended up going, but these are pretty much all I recommend, especially for Killer Clean Black. This is sealed. Dropped this down originally from 20, so it was like 15 now. Wartech, this one reminded me a lot of Zone of the Enders, and there was like another mech game, and then this one to me is like a very hidden gem for the system, mostly because it reminded me a lot of ActRaiser. I was trying to think of it, and then it mixed with Mega Man on top, so altogether it was 100 for the three. So we ended up getting another lot, not particularly a huge lot, but the gentleman that came to the booth mentioned about Pokemon cards later. I don't know if they're going to come back, but for 180, I gave them like a little bit of extra cash on top. But they're all complete for the most part. These don't have the extra inserts, but aside from that, it does have their manuals. The discs do need cleaning, but Skyward Sword, Zelda Wind Waker, and then Twilight Princess being the biggest of the bunch. And then this was a freebie, but we'll give it to somebody for a cheap price. So anyways, it was again 180 for all four. So right now there is a trade in progress, a couple of singles in the back, but the amount we agreed on is, as far as like trade, around $375 or $350 in cash, but we're going to be doing a mix of it, so we'll go through the chaos when it is pretty much all done. So this is pretty much what I'm dealing with at the moment. So this is pretty much the leftover chaos from it, and I will show the rest of the stuff that was traded in. But the Pichu from Neo Genesis, Bianca's Devotion, some of these did go down in price from what we were checking on, especially the Kamiya arts. I mean, I figured those were going to be cheaper now. But Bianca's Devotion, Lisa's Appeal, Lacey, Miriam, we still got one more. The Japanese Shiny Pika, and then the Burger King Pichu, that one was always a good one. And then some of the other ones, even the Squirrel that somebody passed on, but we finally got rid of it. So I owe them $130 on top. I was pricing out everything at the booth. Both the Prismatic Evolution stuff ended up selling for $68 for the pair. And right after that last sale, we ended up selling the Manhattan Project and Pokemon Snap. Originally, it was $60, but we dropped it down to $53. So kind of like last second thing, I was able to secure it, but I was very happy to be able to get it. I knew that Grant Kirkhope was going to be here for the show, but he ended up signing the Donkey Kong 64 poster. I believe this was from the Prima guide that they did, where it was like a bundle for that, and then a photo op. Really awesome guy. I just wish that I had more time to talk to him, but he was getting ready to leave, so it was kind of like a last second thing. And of course I had to do my signature photo op thing that I do a lot of the time. Right now it looks like it's about pack up time. Like I've already started getting everything out of here, pretty much moved out. But really good weekend overall, I would say. Sale-wise was fine, but I think that it was just, it recouped itself because we ended up getting more inventory for the next show, so you'll pretty much see a lot of that for the Dayton show. And I am outside of the convention. I'm exhausted. It was pretty much a long weekend. I thought it could do better for the amount of like sales, but we got some really good trades. That's basically what I was hoping for, both sealed, raw, and then like a bit of slabbed. But even though I didn't have enough money to be able to get as much as I needed, I still got quite a bit to be able to offset coming out here. Thanks to everybody who dropped by the booth, who bought stuff, who pretty much wanted to like do trades and pretty much some other stuff too. But that is it. I'm gonna make my way back home and pretty much get this whole vlog out. But with that being said, thank you for watching. If you're new, if you haven't done so yet, feel free to subscribe and check out the other vlogs. It's not going to be all video game related, but it will be Pokemon TCG. So that's it. I'm heading out, and thank you for watching. And as always, you know how we end these videos. Stay strong, stay positive, and of course, love ya. Have a good evening.